Well, it is exactly 2 p.m. This Thursday afternoon, and a good afternoon to everyone. For those that are tuned in from wherever you are, my name is Umu Jallo, and I am the team lead of language services at Longhorn Publishers PLC, and I will be your host this afternoon. With me is a great panel of speakers that I have been in the education industry for quite a number of years, and I will graciously introduce them one by one. First off, we have Peter Tabichi, fondly known by many as Teacher Tabichi. He personifies peace, love, and compassion in his work with both his students and his community. He made history last year when he became the first teacher from Africa to win the prestigious Vake Foundation Global Teacher Prize. He beat 9 other finalists who were selected from 10,000 applicants for the global award. This year, he was also conferred yet another award with the 2020 Ahmisa Award by the trustees of the Institute of Genealogy in London. Besides inspiring his students to succeed with few resources and equipment, Teacher Tabichi is a Catholic Franciscan brother who teaches chemistry and mathematics and was recognized for giving away up to 80% of his monthly salary to help the poor. Karibu sana Teacher Tabichi.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Next online is Pikoti Rotich. Pikoti is a parent, a teacher, a seasoned editor who is very passionate about young children and their learning. At Longhorn, she serves as our ECDE expert and has been in the publishing industry for over 12 years. She has overseen the development of various approved curriculum support materials for early childhood education in the countries Longhorn Publishers is represented. She is currently serving as a digital content coordinator and is passionate about adding value to education through digital learning. Karibu sana Pikoti. Next online is Mercy Mogona. Mercy is also a parent and very passionate about education. She is a customer experience champion whose area of specialization is strategic customer leadership and is a quality management system leader. She is currently serving as the head of customer experience at Longhorn Publishers, a position she has held for the past 4 years. Karibu sana Mercy.
Thank you very much, Pikoti. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much, Umu. I'm glad to be here.
You're most welcome. Well, we delve right into it, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, I would like to ask you, the audience, to type in all your questions that will arise in the chat box available on the platform. Back to school. Is it business as usual? Business unusual? What has changed? Teacher Tabichi. You're on mute.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be in this great panel to talk about, back to school, discuss on the way forward. And I can say that it has been a tough moment for us and as teachers, and I've also seen the same with my students. It has not been easy because when there were, school closures, we didn't know exactly what that means. We didn't know what's going to happen. Maybe we thought this is something that's going to take like 3 months and then it's over. But now here it has stayed quite long, and then we even don't know what's going to happen. So much has changed in that we had to adjust and do things to ensure that everything is okay. So before COVID, I remember that we used to focus so much on face-to-face, but it's I can say that the current pandemic is now like twisting things around. It's like we are now thinking about how to really focus on both face-to-face and also digital learning. And therefore, I can say that it's also a way of shaping education. Even if it's a challenge, yes, it's a challenge, but behind that challenge, I can see that there are opportunities, and it's now up to us to make use of the opportunities that before us and ensure that our education system is going to be, it's going to improve, and we are going to, you know, give the best to our young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At least we acknowledge the fact that there has been a disruption, and with the challenges that have been there, probably Pikoti, you can let us know what is in your opinion, what has changed even as we gear up for the back to school season.
Thank you very much, Umu. And also good afternoon, the ladies and gentlemen who've been able to join us today. It's nice being here with you. So when you ask about what has changed, I want to believe there is so much that has changed. But first, before I talk about what has changed, I just want to begin to appreciate the invaluable contribution that you as a teacher or you as a parent have been able to give during this season. I am sure you are still giving that because we are still in the season. We are not yet out of it. And for those who've been able to do the homeschooling, or if you just maybe were able to keep your kids engaged positively during this time, you are sure that it has not been a walk in the park. So I just want to commend the work you have done. It has been a commendable job. So yes, I am sure parents are also part of the people who are joining this webinar, as well as teachers. And I want to say, if you have been a parent, just like I am, you have probably specifically found a greater appreciation for the work that our teachers do. You have been with your children long enough, right? We are talking of close to 7 months. And I'm sure you have experienced just how much the teachers do in school to keep your children there. And you must have seen how demanding their work is. So when we have been able to, as a parent, being able to go into the shoes of a teacher, I can call that an exchange of experiences. Teachers have been having your children in school, but now you've had the chance to have your children at home, whether they were doing the homeschooling or not, but you've just been there with that environment, being you as a parent setting the environment. So I am sure things are not going to remain the same. That alone, the fact that the parents have been able to appreciate the role of teachers is not going to remain the same. I want to mention just a few things. I believe teachers are also here that is relating to the new curriculum, the new CBC curriculum. There is one guiding principle, which is also a PCI. PCI is a pertinent and contemporary issue we call parental engagement. This one is a very crucial factor that determines the acquisition of, if not all the core competencies that we have, is one that we call self-efficacy. And when I mention about self-efficacy, I mean the ability of a learner to believe in his or her capabilities to perform a task. The task could be school-related, personal, family-related, community-related, entrepreneurial, or even a career goal that in the end will lead to the personal accomplishments of the learner. Now, this self-efficacy here is a task that is very important. In alone, when we have the learners lacking self-efficacy in school, then the rest of the core competencies may not be achieved. So we say when a learner has a strong sense of self-efficacy, then they are able to approach difficult tasks as challenges that need to be mastered. And they don't see them as threats that should be avoided. because they are courageous, they are bold, they are committed to overcome them. So it enhances their self-esteem and their confidence. Now, the other competencies also, to a large extent, are dependent on the child's ability to have self-efficacy. If teachers are here, I would have wanted to ask you to maybe mention some of the other competences, but just because of time, I'm going to talk of collaboration and communication, talk of learning to learn, talk of creativity and imagination, talk of critical thinking. All these will lead to critical thinking in itself, which leads to effective decision making, and the ability of the child to solve a problem are based on a strong sense of self-efficacy. Now, parental engagement, which was to a large extent the case with the period that we're having right now, is, as I said, is a crucial factor which is required for the learner to achieve self-efficacy. So we say parents play a very important role which cannot be ignored. The teachers together with the parents must come together. So I believe when our learners go back to school, we will be able to achieve what we call in the vision of our basic education framework. We say that the learner should become engaged, empowered, and an ethical citizen. And parents have a shared responsibility with the schools in providing this. So I believe when we go back to school, there's a lot of collaboration that is going to be seen from the parents and the teachers. Therefore, it is not going to remain to be business as usual. We are going to see parents who are more involved in the learning of their children. First of all, in providing a safe environment, that healthy environment, being interested in the things the child does. I'm sure right at the time from the beginning of Corona period up to the time we've come to the end, up to the time where we are now, you have seen the things that your child have interest in, which maybe when they were all the time in school, probably you never saw what they're interested in. But now you will be able to talk positively about them with your child, and even help them to know that you believe in them. You build their self-confidence so that the children will be encouraged and they would want to pursue further. So yes, for me, business will not be the same because we are going to have parents who are now more interested in supporting the teachers for the sake of their children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pikoti, for that detailed and elaborate explanation on how now parents have seen that teaching is not a walk in the park. And this begs the question now, what important lessons have we learned from the education front in Kenya in 2020? I'll throw this one to Teacher Tabichi again. You're on mute.
Besides seeing, the challenges, there are also opportunities, and opportunities in the sense that there are so many things that we can learn. There are a number of lessons that we have learned. We have seen some of the things that we used to think they are like, to us, they are like threats. Actually, they are not threats, but to us, in a way, they are like opportunities. One of the things I can mention is about digital literacy. There are those people who are against, who thought that there is a very large gap between, application of technology and the classwork, the kind of what you use to deliver the kind of pedagogical skills that we use and all of that, and the methods used there. So there was that gap, but right now I see that people are seeing the connection between the two, and that there isn't much difference. That we need that for us to have good quality education, and then you have to think about how to integrate technology, how to bring in the other aspects, because education is not just about academic success. And therefore, these are some of the things that you have learned. People used to be like technophobic. Right now, I think they have changed their attitude, and that there's a need not just focus on just the lecturing to the students and only using one only using one, teaching method, that you have to use, different methods for learning, for you to have a meaningful, for that meaningful learning and teaching to take place. And I can say as a teacher, I've learned so much. And I've also, the other thing I've learned that we can also learn is about the need to work as a team, cooperate with other people, with other teachers. I don't have to teach like myself. I'm just teaching as a teacher, as teacher Tabichi, but I have to work with other teachers. Like right now, there's a program I have, and I'm so happy it's working so well because I'm involving the other teachers, and it's working so well. How do you work with other people? How do you engage other people? How do you engage the parents? How do you, all of that? So those are some of the things which we can learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm hearing collaboration with other teachers. I'm hearing being adaptable to the digital learning as well. So those are great lessons that we've learned this year. It shows that the human spirit is very adaptable. So we'll go to the next question, and this I'll pose to Mercy. What have been the negative effects of schools being closed since March this year? Mercy?
Okay, thank you very much, Umu. Indeed, it's been a long break. It's been a long break for us as parents, but it's also been a long break for the children from going back to school. Now, the negative effects that we have had for this long break, a report by Al Jazeera cited actually like 3 aspects, and this was mostly affecting girls. Number one, there was increase in FGM, cultural activities, especially among the Maasai, Oromo, Borana, and the Gabra community. They found the school calendar, because it had very little time where children would stay with their parents at home. They found this time to be long enough for them to be able to begin actually to revive and advance that culture. So that exposes girls to early marriages, which is now another negative effect, because parents consider children, and girls in particular, as wealth. So they would be married off. For example, within the Gabra, they would be married off, and the father would get cows. So we see girls getting married early. In the month of September, there was an anticipation that, because it is a wedding month among the Gabra, it was anticipated that there would be more weddings, and especially marrying off of young girls. Another reality that was experienced in Kenya, and we had the media awash with news, is early pregnancies, teenage pregnancies. In Machakos in particular, was reported to have about 3,900, close to 4,000 cases of teenage pregnancies among girls. So this is because the children have been kept out of school. And one of the, a number of reasons why girls were getting pregnant during this period is those girls that had to offer sex for food. Schools, in particular in disadvantaged areas, have been offering food and sanitary pads. So because schools were closed, girls didn't have this. In desperation to look for this, they get a well-wisher or unsuspecting relatives who say, come, I'm going to give you food, come, I'm going to give you sanitary pads. And before the girls realize it, they are pregnant. So such increase in number of cases. Indeed, schools have been safety nets for students and girls. Children, because parents have been just trying to make ends meet or working from home, children have had a lot of free time to be able to move around. Boys have been seen walking in groups, therefore affecting their behaviors, some of them getting into drugs, some of them getting out of, getting moral decay. For that matter, that's what I'm trying to say. And for those that were not going out, had a lot of screen time, which has now been affected by what the media has been offering. So a significant number of things that have been happening with UNESCO, for example, targeting that about 4.1 million this year risk FGM. And they are saying about 33,000. A UNFPA report suggests that 33,000 children would not be able to report back to school because of early marriages when the schools open. So this is real. The pandemic has posed such a great challenge, taking us possibly years back, but all is not lost. We look forward to be able to recover. We look forward to be able to come back and bring sanity and rescue the girls who have been mostly affected during this season. Thank you very much, Umu.
Thank you, Mercy, for elaborating on the daunting effects of children being away from school. And ideally, this makes us even more excited to anticipate schools reopening on the 4th of January, especially in Kenya. And now to the next question. How has Longhorn Publishers stepped in the gap during the pandemic disrupt? Pikoti, you mind taking this?
Yeah, thank you, Umu. You've heard from the statistics that have been shared by my fellow panelist, Mercy, that it is very sad. We are likely to have about 33,000 learners not going to school. So I just want to mention that we are proud as Longhorn that we've been able to play a part, and we still do play, in making experiences during the time the pandemic began up to now. And we've been able to give that productive, and I believe has been an exciting experience with some of the products that were able to come up during that period. So Longhorn worked and is still working tirelessly to ensure that learning continued during the disruption. Remember, having learners at home didn't mean we were going to stop learning, but we made sure that learning was going to continue even with the disruption. With that, we were able to offer high quality print and digital learning solutions. The solutions have helped to build, we believe, for those who've been using, to build a strong foundation for our children's future. And remember, being digital, we are also able to mold the skills they require for the 21st century. So we've been offering them. In the beginning, when the pandemic just began, we were having them for free. I'm sure most of you enjoyed the learning content that we had in our learning platform. But even right now, with a small fee, you will still be able to enjoy a wide variety of learning platform, digital learning content. So with that, we were able to stay true to our vision at Longhorn, which states that we want to become the #1 provider of innovative learning solutions in Africa. The solutions hereby is that we provide a Longhorn e-learning platform, which if I also had a chance, I would have wanted to ask how many of you have interacted with the platform. So the platform is actually our digital product, which has been creatively designed, and it offers the learners an excellent learning resource. And the resource, the content you find there is actually aligned to the curriculum. So you would not be worried about your children learning things that may not be aligned to their curriculum. So therefore, we were able to complement what the teachers were offering. And if you are a teacher, you are also able to complement your own learning by probably referring your learners to our digital platform. So I want to appreciate those who've been able to use the platform and been able to enjoy the product. Remember that when learners use that platform, they're applying what we call digital literacy, which is also a core competence in the new curriculum that our learners are supposed to acquire. So then it's actually also digital literacy skills is acquisition of the digital literacy skills is a learning outcome that is expected of the learners to acquire. So therefore, what's unique about our platform? Allow me to mention some of the things that are unique about our platform. So we have well-researched revision questions and test papers in all subjects for primary and for secondary. We have for grade 1 to 4, standard 5 to 8, from 1 to 4. And the questions are linked with some short notes for quick revision. So your learner will be able to revise with some short notes there and then be able to attempt the questions that have been given. it also provides a guide on how to solve some of the commonly examined areas in KCSE. And it has worked out sample KCSE questions that gives the candidate a thorough revision for their exams. The questions also have what we call an auto mark and auto time capabilities. So the learner gets that real classroom experience when they are doing an examination, that examination experience, because it times them and then it gives them the marks at the end of that. So as a parent, if you're away, or even as a teacher, you could be able to track the progress of your learners, because it also provides what we call performance progress reports. And then if you notice that there is areas of weakness, then you can be able to offer some guidance further. Then the platform also has what we call interactive CBC content. And in the platform right now, we have for grade 3 and 4. And by interactive, I mean that it allows for a two-way flow of information between the device that the learner is using as well as the learner. So the difference is that in the other one, probably the learner is just the one inputting the instructions to the computer. But now here, the computer or the digital device, be it a tablet or a mobile device, together they are having that interaction. That's why we call it interactive. So it responds to the users, the learner's input. And that makes learning quite interesting. So some of the things that you would want to see there, or learners really love to see there, is that we have what we call drag and drop activities. They can key in some matching activities. They have songs, they have poems, they have rhymes, puzzles, word game stories. So learners, especially these very young learners, will be able to find learning more interesting than maybe the other kind of learning there. Again, we also have a series of video lessons from expert teachers for both primary and for secondary school learners. So you have a class there. We have a video which is on a video basis, and then the teacher is taking the learners through a course or a topic which maybe has some challenging, challenges. The learners have challenges in. So it would be very nice when learners are able to go through the lessons, the video lessons, and be able to learn. Now you can access our videos and our interactive content by actually registering for free. You just register for free. So you visit Longhorn e-learning platform, sign up at elearning.longhornpublishers.com. I will ask Mark to share that, to share the poster where maybe you can be able to see, but we will be able to type elearning.longhornpublishers.com. You log in or you register. Now, registration has even been made easier for all the users to sign up. It's quite easy. So the new payment method that we have in the e-learning platform is real time, meaning you do an M-Pesa direct transaction where you are able to transact very quickly, easily, and securely. And in no time, you're accessing your content. So for free, for those who are all the new people who are registering in the platform the first time, have free access to English and Kiswahili interactive content for grade 3. You have science for standard 5. There's biology for Form 1 and 2 for free for up to 2 weeks upon the time you sign up. So I want to encourage you to try that today and then enjoy that free content. But even after that, the amounts of subscription is quite low. Per day, you just pay 50 shillings. You pay 200 shillings per week. You pay 500 shillings per month and 2,000 shillings per year. So if someone is wondering how can I be able to do that, it's how can I be able to access this? I just want to inform you that the platform is quite user-friendly. It ensures that you're able to navigate through the platform easily with easy access to access all your learning content. So then if you're worried also that you don't have access to the internet, and what solutions we have for you is that we have some offline. We have an offline product for you, which you can be able to access, but only then it means you need to have what we call a Windows application. Okay, give me a minute. So if you have a Windows application, and then you will be able to access for offline the same content that the rest can access online. And I believe with that, everybody should be able to register right away, even as we continue with the webinar, and be able to enjoy your content. Thank you, Umu.
Thank you, Pikoti, for that elaborate description of our digital learning platform. It sounds like a whole adventure in itself, but that is from us, the publisher's point of view. I will ask this question to Teacher Tabichi. What has been your experience in by using our products and services?
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Longhorn for coming up with such a wonderful product that is helping so many people. I didn't know that that such a product is, is existing until I was introduced by, by someone. And this happened because my students were at home, and I was worried, what is it, what they should be doing, and they come from very humble backgrounds. And then I wanted them to also to have, to enjoy the same services which other students elsewhere are enjoying. And of course, there are quite challenges in terms of accessing this content. I mean, in terms of connecting students, especially with those who are not connected with the internet. So what I did, I got low cost smartphones, because that's the only thing they can afford, and of course it's very affordable. And then the other thing I did was also to ensure that they have internet bundles. So there is a program I have whereby I give them internet bundles, weekly internet bundles, which is quite good, and enough bundles for them to be able to study. And then the other thing I did was to work with other teachers. I got whereby we work with about 5 teachers. Now, the next thing that I was wondering, how is this learning going to take place? How is it going to be effective? So we were having Zoom lessons with the students. Like per day, they could have like 1 or 2 lessons. But then the other times, when they have the internet bundles, how are they going to use the internet bundles? So that's when I did the research, and someone introduced to me with Longhorn, and I was able to ensure that all the students are registered, and registering is just quite very simple. So all the students were registered, and then now they started using the platform. So what I've learned about the platform, it is user friendly, and then the other thing is that it has some kind of interactive kind of content. And then for us teachers, we are able to like track their progress. I can easily tell this student is a lazy, is active. I can easily tell. And it made my work easier, because I had a headache. How am I going to, evaluate to ensure that, the students are doing something? So I'm able to log in, and as a teacher, I'm able to track what the students are doing. And on Wednesdays, when we have a common session, or the teachers we meet, and then we are able to motivate those students who are working hard, and those ones who are not, who are very inactive, we talk to them all either through that session or in private. So in general, I can say that the e-learning platform from Longhorn, it's quite something that I can say that if you start, if we have parents here, or students, or even teachers, it's something that if you start using, it's something I'm very sure you will not regret after using, because it's something that I can say that I've used with my students for quite a long time. And now I'm very sure when the students go back to school next year, they are going to share so much, they are going to be happy, and I'm very sure they'll share the same with the other students. And therefore, I'm so happy that you have such a product, and I wish that we have so many of such products which are very useful to our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teacher Tabichi, for highlighting the usefulness of our digital learning platform that has been able to bridge the gap during this disruption. And I want to remind you, the viewers and those who are listening in, to please send in your questions to us and type them in the chat box provided on the platform. And I will take a few questions that have been sent to us. And the first one is from John. And John is asking, what is Longhorn as a publishing house doing to alleviate the book purchase burden, given that schools are reopening despite the harsh economic times? I will ask Mercy to take this one. Please, Mercy.
Thank you, Umu. Indeed, Longhorn is a publisher that is sensitive to the needs and very cognizant of the current challenging times that parents, schools, students are going through. So Longhorn, in its mercy, has actually brought down the cost of revision materials by a whopping 50%. And Longhorn began this in the month of October when grade 4 and Form 4 resumed school. We have provided you revision materials at a cost by 50% less. You can definitely buy these materials from bookshops across the country, nationwide. Bookshops within Nairobi are available to be able to sell these books. And should you also find it difficult from wherever you are, we are ready and available to support you. Drop us an email, reach to us, and we'll advise you where to buy those books. And I am so sure our students will have materials to be able to revise and learn from. So apart from the learning platform that we had, we are also giving 2 weeks, which Pikoti was explaining. Once you register, you have 2 weeks. That's an alleviation. Our ebook store actually sells the same books at half the price. And if you are able and you are enabled digitally, you should be able to access these materials. Your child can read as many storybooks. I hear parents say, I buy so many storybooks and my child just reads all of them and finishes them, and now I don't know. You have a whole repository of books. You have a whole platform with Longhorn books. Your child can read any book that they want. Just log into ebooks at longhornpublishers.com and you'll be able to access these materials, as well as hard copy books, revision materials that are going at a 50% discount. Yes. Thank you very much,
Thank you so much, Mercy. And probably in the same breath, since you're head of customer service, someone else called Zipporah is asking, I do not have access to the internet. What solutions does Longhorn have for me? Since we are talking about the digital learning platform and that has been featuring in our conversations, what solutions do you have for those that do not have access to internet?
Thank you very much, Umu. And Zipporah, thank you for your question. That's a very valid, important question. Zipporah needs to be able to continue to learn, regardless of whether she has access to internet or not. And that's why, on top of us providing materials in digital form, we also have provided materials in print form. So Zipporah, you can reach to us and you will be able to buy, as I have said, books at a 50% discount. You can also use our hard copy books and you will be good to go. If you also have your phone, you should be able to, just give us a call. 0736, allow me to mention at this point, 0736 308 525. Reach to us and we'll be able to support you with hard copy books, which you can buy from us and from Longhorn Publishers at large. And you know, we are known for quality and the best within the industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mercy. And there's one last question I'm seeing, and it's from an attendee in the webinar, and they're asking, I am loving the webinar, thank you so much. And how about the SOMO Grow Up? I have been anxiously waiting for this application. Pikoti, probably you can take this on.
Thank you, Umu. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Teacher Tabichi, for being able to mention that the Longhorn e-learning platform has been very good to your learners. So I just want to say, before I can answer the question on SOMO, is that if Teacher Tabichi is using Longhorn e-learning platform with his learners, then who are you not to be using with your learners? Really. If Longhorn is giving us 50% discount on our print books, who are you to be left behind because there is no digital or internet devices in your locality? So then, having mentioned the Longhorn e-learning platform, we also have, and it's actually new, SOMO. It's a new e-learning app. The difference here, this one is an e-learning app, remember. Well, we also have in our e-learning platform, you can get an Android application through Google Play Store, but then you can also be able to access another new app, we call it SOMO, which is actually an app by Longhorn publishers for the young adults. I want to go back to what I started with when I mentioned about parental engagement. I mentioned that as parents, we need to think about the future of our learners, future education of our learners and their career pathways, and that we should be very involved in that. I mentioned that we have a role in establishing the particular careers for the children, for our children. What are they passionate in? What are they passionate about? And whether their choices is in tandem or is aligning to their personality, their abilities, their traits. And if not, then we can be able to seek or receive support to better develop the skills that they want. It is a role for parents. It's also a role for teachers. We need to identify what our children's passions are when they are still developing. Now, Longhorn has come and is providing us with an app which is going to help you to get, it's going to help you to be able to get assistance on how to assist your learners. Remember, we have had instances where our learners go all the way up to university, doing the wrong course they never wanted, coming out, graduating, getting a job, working in a place where they never wanted to, and having their lives just not meeting the potentials that they wanted in life, or not being happy about what they have become in life. SOMO here gives you a choice, or it gives you help, that if you want to know what options are there for professions, this is where you can get. Come to Longhorn, go to the Google Play Store, download the SOMO app, and get what we call SOMO, and we will be able to get a guidance on how you assist your learners to choose a career path that they want to choose all the way to, so that they can pursue that course all the way to the university and be able to enjoy their lives. So this one offers what we call professional, it has professionals who are there. If your learner wants to become a doctor, it exposes them to the doctors and the field of doctors. What do doctors do? If they want to become pilots, what do pilots do? So this is where it's actually important, and I want to encourage every teacher, every learner, please expose your learners to SOMO. You can be sure they will not remain the same. They will complete their schooling and they'll be able to do and be happy about what they have learned in school. So yes, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Pikoti, and I hope we have answered in detail the question on SOMO. And I will ask Mark to please put down the details in the chat box on how to access both our digital e-learning platform and as well as our Somo learning app, so that you can be able to access these wonderful products. We'll go back to the discussion we are having, and this one goes to everyone. And I will start with you, Teacher Tabichi. We are all in this together. What lessons have we learned so far as a country where education is concerned? And what encouragement will you give to that teacher or that parent who is tuned in listening?
There are many lessons that you can learn as you know, as a country, as educators, as you know, as parents, everyone. There is something that we have learned so far, and I wish that we make use of, you know, the opportunities before us to ensure that, you know, we have. Okay, you can't have perfect, you know, perfect of everything, but I'm very sure you can easily make use of the opportunities. So as a country, we have learned to be about being united, working as a team, and being resilient. There are challenges that we face, but now being resilient, having hope, I think that's what we have learned. And then as educators, I think what we have learned is about embracing the modern ways of teaching for the best, you know, for the best of our children. Use of technology, and also being adaptable, you know, being ready to learn. You don't say that, teacher, I know everything. No, there are a number of things you can learn every day. Like myself, every day I learn something new. So you have to be adaptable, being ready to learn, and also, yeah, learn from others and being ready to work with others. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm hearing being ready to learn and being adaptable, and that is a great takeaway from what we have experienced in the education sector in 2020. Mercy, what is your take?
Thank you, Umu. Allow me to give my lessons as a parent. One of the things that I have discovered during this COVID period, in my mind, I had this mental block that learning can only happen when children are in class. But now time has proven me wrong, that learning is continuous. It happens everywhere, always, all the time. Digital learning, for me in particular, and my experience with my children, is that it actually complements classroom learning, because digital learning has been, you know, it has visuals. So what happens, the child is able to relate what they're taught in class, and is able to see it applicable, and therefore their experience and their rate of understanding and grasping of aspects that are taught in class is very, very, very phenomenal. Therefore, I have learned that online learning and digital learning, for that matter, complements a classroom. I used to think it's expensive, honestly, but I have also been proven wrong, looking at what Longhorn is offering and what Longhorn is doing in particular, and what other also stakeholders are also doing just to come in with online learning. I can confirm today that digital learning is not expensive. It is important, and it complements classroom learning. So finally, I was worried about myself not being able to get through this through this tech, you know, this tech monster. I was also worried that my children were too young to be able to understand, but I'm surprised they are better at clicking and managing and being able to learn online. So quite a significant number of lessons for me. And I know from today, in the past, I would, for example, look for somebody to give tuition to my child. I now they don't have to come to my home. They only need to connect and link and learn away and click away, and so many materials online. And so I'm excited that there has been positive aspects of this pandemic that I have been able to gain. I feel like I'm 5 years ahead of myself as far as technology is concerned. So thank you to you, Umu.
Thank you so much, Mercy. That's a world of encouragement, especially when it comes to the young ones adapting faster than us, who had that mental block of learning cannot happen from the digital space. And from a publisher's point of view, Pikoti, what lessons have we learned, one, and what encouragement can you give to that parent or the teacher listening in?
Yeah, thank you, Umu. I can also start by saying again that thanks to COVID pandemic, we have witnessed what we call a digital transition in the education industry. Technology has enabled learning to continue. That learning was possible despite the pandemic. Who would have thought that this would be possible to the magnitude that we saw before COVID? So yes, COVID has come, and I don't want to call it with this kind of example. I would not call it like an unfortunate example. For me, I would call it maybe a special case, because it has enabled so many people to begin to see learning in a different perspective. It doesn't only have to be in classroom. It can happen anywhere. So we've mentioned about integration of ICT into learning. This probably teachers would have found it so hard to integrate ICT when learners are at home without what we call content. You see, the content that we provide, for example, in our e-learning platform at Longhorn Publishers is what now teachers would say, I refer learners to the e-learning platform at Longhorn Publishers. You do this kind of a quiz, you do this kind of a test paper, and through that integration of the digital, the ICT into learning was made possible. So as publishers, we have seen an opportunity that the content probably that we have been having is not adequate. That learning can actually be conducted exactly or in the same manner we would conduct a real classroom experience when we have online content. And therefore, I would want to say that digital publishing is going to be the new norm. People would maybe just focus so much on the print publishing. You know, you have a book printed and then delivered from the warehouse to the school, but you can have the same information in that book portrayed in a more creative manner, in a manner that the learner is going to find value, and even have that given to the learner. So as publishers, we are challenged that digital publishing is now going to be the new norm, and it has no longer going to do it as, you know, by the way. We have to be intentional about creating digital content to enable digital learning. So again, I would want to say for teachers, please take advantage of the content that is available. We have seen that it is possible for teachers to create online programs and disseminate them through online platforms. Wasn't that possible through the e-learning that was happening? Yes, it was. We have even seen assessments can be conducted through online platforms. Wasn't that possible? Yes, it was, depending on the platform you had. I also even foresee a situation where the government is probably going to adopt online exams in the future. I see learners also learning a lot through online platforms. So I am seeing a situation where digital learning is going to be the new norm. Thank you.
And in that same breath, Pikoti, what would be your parting shot to everyone listening in?
Thank you, Umu. My parting shot would be, when we resume learning, there is going to be a lot required from the teachers, the parents, and even the ministry, all the stakeholders in education. So I would ask that as parents, let us offer our support to the teachers. If our support could be financial, definitely it will be required in a way. Our support could be in terms of sharing our ideas. Most of us maybe are professionals in a way. Please share your ideas so that we can improve the learning of our learners. We want our learners to to give your little contribution to support in one way or the other, remember, we are all doing this for the best interest of the learner. So let's have confidence in whatever teachers have put in place. I believe teachers have been able to be flexible, and you're still working on this. So I'm encouraging you to be flexible. I'm encouraging you to be creative. I'm encouraging you to be innovative in adopting the guidelines that have been provided by the ministry, so that we can find ways that are affordable for both the teachers and the parents to bring the learners to a safe environment for learning. So thank you very much and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, Pikoti, for that warm parting shot to everyone, that we are all in this together, and parents and teachers need to work side by side to make learning a success for our children. Teacher Tabichi, what would be your parting shot to the audience?
Thank you. It's a great honor. You can say that we all have something in us. We have something to offer, and I think that's why we are in. That's why we exist. If there's no reason as to why we exist, and then let's go for it. There are talents in us. There are gifts. Let's go. Let's go for what we have and use that. To transform the world. We cannot change the world. I'm very sure someone who came up with, I don't know, this we have the Longhorn, and then we have the wonderful products you are offering. Someone was driven, something, there's something that inspired you. And it's not just with Longhorn, even all of us, we have something. Let's go for it and make use of that, those gifts and talents to change the world. Once you have, you have the mentality, you change your attitude, that you have the mindset that you can change the world, it will happen. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter, your circumstances or like the current challenges, the pandemic. You just go for it and it's going to happen. And therefore that means we need to have hope and be resilient. And I'm very sure the future, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And let's prioritize education and ensure that it's, it's good. It's, we are offering quality education to our young people, because to me, I believe that every child deserves, quality education, because education is not just a privilege. It's not just a matter of luck. It should be a right, a birthright. And lastly, I can say that let's make it, good by not just focusing on an academic, but also ensuring that our young people have values, because we want to produce people who later on can be able to fit in the society, who can be able to promote peace, people who can be able to, who are very creative, the way we have wonderful products like from Longhorn. Thank you. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Teacher Tabichi. You are the perfect embodiment of passion as far as education is concerned. And that can-do attitude is what everyone else needs to adopt to be resilient in these times. And finally, Mercy, what is your parting shot to the audience?
Thank you, Umu. My parting shot to the audience is an encouragement to parents. The school's calendar is going to be a marathon of some sort, because the government is looking forward to recover for all the time that has lost, that regardless of the time that we have been at home, we'll still be able to recover, and at some point we'll be at par with the time. So this calls for a lot of parental support. Spend more time, be deliberate about spending time with your child, to teach them, to support them with materials, to teach them, but more so to help them also develop life skills that are also very critical. In echoing the words of Teacher Tabichi about morals and values for children, this can only be acquired if you become very deliberate and very involved in your child's learning. So for me, I know that times are difficult and hard, but you see, where there is a will, there is a way. So I'm excited about the new year, looking forward to a greater time, children resuming school. And my prayer for all of us is that our children will be safe, will also be safe, and all will just be well. So thank you very much.
That is a lovely parting shot from you, Mercy. We are really thankful for everyone who was on our panel today. Thank you so much for giving your time for this enriching discussion. And even as we gear up for the festivities, at the back of our minds, we remember that January 4th is not very far away in Kenya, and we should be prepared for sending our children back to school. Thank you so much also for the audience. You have been a great audience, and we really are looking forward to the next webinar that we'll have discussing education. So it's from me, Umu Jalo, with language services at Longhorn Publishers. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye too.
Bye. Thank you.